Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Everything is Bad New Fangled Motion Picture Show.
Welcome back, one and all, to another episode of the Everything is Bad New Fangled Motion Picture Show. I'm your host, Niall.
And I'm Nolan.
And today we're going to be reviewing what I hope is the final installment in the Jurassic saga. That is Jurassic World Dominion. So we'll do a spoiler-free review on that, and then give you a spoiler warning and get more in depth into it later. But please stop butchering this glorious. I mean, like I say like anything beyond the first Jurassic Park movie was a good movie.
The first movie is amazing.
Right.
Everything after that has been downhill.
Right. And it's like, so it's like I say, like, oh, please stop ruining this, as if anything beyond the first movie has been worth watching.
Right.
Now,
I didn't see the previous Fallen World or whatever it is.
Look, we see a lot of trash movies because we enjoy going to the movies. That one was just too much for us.
So
we were like, yeah, no.
My understanding is that one is worse than this one, but this one is not very good.
Yeah, so this one, so it's too long, for one thing.
It is, and there's a middle sequence that they could have. They can't just lift it out and not change things. They would have to rewrite some things, but it'd be easily rewritten around the sequence, scene, or not the scene. This whole section of the movie that could have cut 20, 30 minutes out of the movie or something, and the movie would have been better for it. It includes a chase scene that just goes on too long. Like, when you're getting bored of a chase scene,
yeah,
you're just sitting there like, oh, okay, can they just end this and we can move along with the story?
Yeah, like, I actually leaned over to you, like, partway through that chase scene, and I was like, I am bored of this. Can we just move this along? Yeah.
And the thing is, like, I want every Jurassic Park movie I've seen, I want this to be a good movie.
Right.
But because I'm such a big fan of the first movie, but like each subsequent Jurassic Park movie is just not even come close to that first movie.
No. So this movie does actually have a lower rating than the last one.
Does it?
I think. Wait, the last one was Fallen Kingdom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one has a 6.1 out of 10 on IMDb. This new one is a 6.0?
Last I checked.
Yeah, so but I don't know, man, that last one, I just heard nothing but terrible things from people who...
The concept was so bad.
People who I know who like terrible movies said that last one was a terrible movie.
Well, this whole hey, let's turn dinosaurs into weapons thing is so stupid. Like, why? How is a dinosaur any better than a tank or even a guy with a gun? I'll tell you why. Because in this movie, nobody ever bothered to try to shoot the dinosaurs.
Right. Yeah. If you are in a room full of they weren't raptors, but some other kind of carnivorous, raptor-like dinosaur.
Are you talking about the ones that they were released on them and the?
Yeah.
Well, they were not velociraptors,
right?
But they were different. They named them. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah. So if you're face to face with this carnivorous, angry dinosaur, and you have a gun in your hand, shoot the dinosaur.
Yeah. People they're pointing the guns at the dinosaurs, and then the dinosaurs attack them. Like, oh no, I've been attacked. Shoot it. There's a part where a guy's trapped inside a truck or something.
Yeah.
And the dinosaur is coming in at him, and he's using the gun to try to shoot this
the lock
on a.
Well, it was like a boat, right?
Oh yeah.
There was a boat on a trailer or something in a warehouse, and he had ran inside the boat or something. And
he's trying to shoot the lock off a hatch to get away from the dinosaur. I'm like, or you shoot the dinosaur.
Yeah, because part of the thing, it's like, look, I get that you already have to suspend some amount of disbelief when you're cloning dinosaurs as like the whole idea of your movie, but what annoys me is when they don't write the dinosaurs as if they're the animals that they are.
Right.
Because they don't act like animals. Like, a gun going off around just about any animal that's not been trained to it will cause most animals, if they're, to want to move away from that noise.
Right. Well, there's all these times where, they have these, like, dinosaur tasers that are powerful enough to, like, shock a dinosaur. You shock the dinosaur, and it still comes at you? Like, what's the point of the taser? If it's not going to stop the dinosaur, any animal you put a shock on, they're going to run away.
Yeah.
Or you're chasing them down the road, and you beat them. The dinosaur's chasing you down the road. You beat them with a shovel. You beat them with a shovel.
And then they get run over by a truck.
But they get up and continue the chase?
Yeah.
Come on. Or, also, every dinosaur, no matter how big, is the stealthiest creature in the world. Tyrannosaurus Rex is constantly sneaking up on people.
Constantly, like...
Or Allosaurus is sneaking up on people.
No, dude, the worst one was... I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's a part where someone's, like, landing a helicopter, and they're like, oh no, don't land it there, there's dinosaurs in that area, and then the person, like, looks out the other side of the cockpit window, and
there's a brachiosaur
there, and it's like, you don't not notice that.
Right.
The thing is like 80 feet tall.
Yeah.
What the hell?
So this whole movie is just a sequence of stupid people making stupid decisions.
Right, and it's aggravating to watch.
Right, like Claire, Bryce Dallas Howard's character, she makes so many stupid decisions, and she's never going to learn from them because ultimately she gets out of them. Right. Like, her stupid decisions lead to dangerous situations, but she gets out of them, so she's never going to learn.
A lot of time because Chris Pratt shows up to save her.
Right, but she makes so many dumb decisions throughout this whole movie. A lot of people make dumb decisions, and I gotta complain. Like, again, you're suspending disbelief because they've cloned these dinosaurs, but there's still some, like, they still should have some genetic. There's some science they should still follow.
Yeah.
I can get more into this in the spoiler section because I just realized what I'm about to complain about would spoil the main villainous plot.
Oh yeah.
So the best parts of the movies were all with the original cast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jeff Gold will steal the scene of anything he's in, regardless of what it is.
I mean, there's a little bit of nostalgia there for seeing those three together.
Yeah.
But they seemed the most intelligent characters in the whole movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, Chris Pratt was okay.
Yeah,
yeah. Like the like taming the raptor thing where he like holds his hand out is like kind of cheesy, and especially like when other people do it and
it works.
And it's like, is that all it takes?
And it works with anything other than the raptors that he trained.
Right. Yeah, it's like I could understand Blue like reacting to that gesture if she's been trained for that gesture.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't work on any other dinosaur.
I say, so this movie used a combination of CGI and then animatronics and puppets for the dinosaurs. Yeah. You could always tell when they were using the CGI, though.
There was some rough CG in this movie.
I was surprised at how obvious some of it was.
Yeah, there's like this opening montage that's basically like, hey, we know a lot of you didn't see the last one. So here's a brief state of the world as things sat at the end of the last one.
Yeah.
Because it basically summed up the movie. Except for like the weaponizing dinosaurs thing, but everything with like the volcano exploding and like the dinosaurs being moved onto the mainland. Bad idea, by the way.
Yeah, I would have been the advocate for just let them die. They're not supposed to be here.
Like look, it's probably already an affront to God.
Look, look, you're feeling guilty because you played God and it didn't work out. I get it, but I mean,
they're extinct.
they're extinct. They should remain that way.
Yeah. If anything, this was a convenient way to correct your hubris.
Yeah.
And
This was nature saying no.
exactly. Speaking of nature saying no, there's also a lot of dinosaurs living in environments they would not be acclimated to.
Right. There's like all these dinosaurs have migrated up north where it's snowing. Like, come on.
They film a lot of this movies and takes place in snow-capped mountainous regions. It's like they only had enough money for like a few like on-scene locations, and so they were like, well, we got this mountainous environment to work with.
Well, because the reserve where they're supposed to be like collecting all the dinosaurs is like sits in this valley that's like temperate, and then it's all like snow-capped mountains surrounding it, and you think that would be a good idea because they're not going to want to leave the valley where it's warm, even if it's artificially warm or whatever, and go into the snow. That makes sense, but the dinosaurs don't seem to care about the cold, which doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, like they're lizards. They're cold-blooded creatures. Also, they're creatures from, I mean, that one's bad enough because that one's super obvious. They're also creatures from an environment that had a much higher oxygen content.
Right. So no matter what genetics say, the dinosaurs would only be able to grow to a certain size.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be as big.
Right. And there's a reason why the largest reptiles top out at a certain size.
Yeah.
Like small and medium-sized dinosaurs are larger than the largest reptiles that are living today. So, but regardless of that whole thing, it's annoying because it's like you're watching them like chase dinosaurs through the snow in these mountains, and you're like, did none of you pay any attention in biology in high school?
Yeah, there's a reason why there aren't like reptiles in snowy areas.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, this movie's got so many issues. Like to me, the biggest issue with the movie is it's so freaking long.
I don't normally mind long movies, but they got to keep me entertained the whole time. And like that middle section, I was like kind of bored.
Yeah.
Here and there, like there were some parts I was entertained, but there were parts where I wasn't, and I was just sitting there like, I kind of wish this movie was over.
Yeah. Yeah, and then just the aggravating state of like people just being stupid. I mean, there's like the typical stupid like movie stupidity going on where it's like, hey, while the dinosaur is distracted, why aren't all of you moving?
Mm-hmm. Because you're in awe of a dinosaur fight, I guess.
Sure. But like, while I'm peeing myself, I would be running in the direction they needed to be running at the time.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, those people, like, several people in that group would have peed themselves at some point. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Oh, even worse than the dinosaurs living in the snowy environment is the one that swims in the frozen lake.
The one that willingly dives into the water of the frozen lake.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That didn't make any sense at all.
This is not an aquatic dinosaur either.
No.
This is a raptor.
I mean, it's one they actually put feathers on, but it is a raptor.
Yeah.
So, yeah. There's a lot wrong with this movie. I can't honestly, with a straight face, recommend this to anyone.
No.
Laura Dern felt like she was selling it a bit hard in some spots, too.
I feel like that's just Laura Dern.
That's fair. Everyone else is fine. Except that Bryce Dallas Howard's character, Claire, is just so annoyingly dumb.
Yeah.
Actually, of all of the people who aren't Jeff Goldblum, I think I actually liked
The pilot?
the Ramsey guy.
Oh yeah.
The one who was the assistant to the main bad guy dude?
Right.
Main villain?
Yeah.
And antagonist, I think, is probably the best word to use for him.
Mm-hmm.
He was probably actually my favorite.
Dotson's here.
He was probably my favorite character who wasn't Jeff Goldblum, honestly. I actually liked him in that, but
yeah, he definitely seemed the most intelligent.
Yeah,
he never made any stupid decisions.
Nope.
But I also kind of liked the pilot they picked up to fly them in there.
Yeah, she felt very pulpy.
Yeah,
like that, the rugged, sort of like a smuggler airplane pilot type person.
Yeah,
like it's Tailspin.
Well, she even flew the same kind of plane.
Yeah. So, yeah, she was pretty cool. Until they pick her up, and the explanation for why she decides to tag along is at first so non-existent, and you're just okay, I guess we're just going. And they even bring it up, and she says something. And I was oh, that's what we're going with, huh?
I think the implication is she felt guilty for.
Yeah, I mean, she explained later on.
Yeah.
But at first, I was this is what we're going with. Okay. I could explain that in the spoiler spoiler portion.
Well, speaking of which, why don't we just move on to that?
Yeah. So, what was the thing you said you were going to say?
So I forget the name of the company, but it was the rival to InGen, and they've taken over all the genetic research stuff, and they
have the federal contract for dealing with the dinosaur problem.
Right. So they genetically engineer prehistoric locusts to eat all the crops in the world except for the ones that they've genetically engineered for them not to eat.
Yeah.
And so they're going to
control the food
supply, except before that happens, there's going to be a worldwide famine because there's not enough people growing their crops.
It's like if Monsanto could have engineered a disease to kill off all the crops that they didn't own the seeds for.
Yeah. They're probably actually working on that.
So what's dumb about that?
So these locusts are a foot long.
Which is horrifying. They're the size of a weta, or bigger than a weta.
A little bit bigger than a weta.
A little bit bigger than a weta.
The thing is because of the oxygen content in our atmosphere, insects top out a certain size.
Right. The thing controlling the size of insects is not genetic.
Right.
It's environmental. Because they have open circulatory systems with book lungs. Go look this up. I paid attention to biology. I'm an engineer. I paid attention to biology in high school, though, and that was enough for me to retain this.
So back in the Mesozoic era, there was a much higher oxygen content on Earth. That's why so much stuff grew to such big sizes.
Yeah, in the giant bugs in King Kong.
Right. So yes, then they did have locusts of monstrous sizes. It's not possible. It's not a genetic factor.
Right.
It's an environmental factor.
Yeah. So, I mean, for the most part, there are some things that genetics will play a part in that will, make them able to take better advantage of their, or give them circulatory systems that work better than other bugs and might allow them to grow bigger. But
the thing is, it could have worked without.
There's not some giant bug genome that's been suppressed since the Mesozoic era.
The thing is, it didn't even have to be. For this plan to work out, it didn't even have to be prehistoric locusts. It's just you've engineered the locusts to not eat your your plants, and you just unleash 1 billion locusts.
Yeah.
In Central America or in Middle America.
Yeah.
And they will wipe out all the crops and leave the ones that you've engineered. They don't need to be giant locusts, just need a lot of them.
Well, they needed some way to tie it into the Jurassic of the Jurassic world. They needed the thing to be related back to the dinosaur, the prehistoric cloning shit.
Yeah. But see, they could have done that with Dr. Wu uses the prehistoric cloning research to engineer a way to kill them.
Yeah.
By introducing one that will take a pathogen throughout the rest of
right.
them.
I mean,
Off.
that was the ultimate solution, but
Right. So, I mean, like I get what you're saying, like, oh, we need the prehistoric thing, but it's still a genetic engineering company.
right.
It doesn't, and they're engineering like
No,
super seeds. They don't need to engineer.
I get it. I'm just saying that for the movie to work, they needed it to be related to the. So the thing with the pilot that at first I was like, okay, this is what we're going with, is like at first when Claire bumps into her at this like black market dinosaur bazaar, she just like basically tells Claire to leave because this isn't a place for you.
Well, Claire's like, but you're a woman and an American. You must have sympathy for me. Help me find my missing daughter.
Right.
And I'm like, why would you think anyone hanging out in this place
would give a shit? Yeah, and so she ends up helping Claire and Owen.
Yeah.
I guess this is his name, Chris Pratt. She ends up helping them, and you're kind of like, why did she decide to change her mind on this? And then Chris Pratt asks her, and she just says, "Do you want to ride or do you want to ask questions?" or something like that. And he's like, "We'll take the ride." I was like, okay, so you bring up why are you doing this, and then you just say fuck you.
Yeah.
I was like, that's the direction the movie's taken on this. Okay, and basically, she reveals later that she saw the girl that was the MacGuffin at the airport and didn't do anything about it. It felt guilty.
And she knew obviously the girl was in trouble.
Yeah. So like that was her motivation. I was like, it's kind of a weak one, but okay. I mean, it's a weak one considering the character we were supposed to believe she was. As far as like this mercenary type, like, smuggling underground black market dinosaurs and stuff. Like, it felt like a weak excuse considering that was her character.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the part that we were like they could have edited out is basically that whole middle part in Malta. Yeah, where they go to like the girl that's like the clone.
She was in the previous movie, I guess.
Yeah, but she was like Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard. They were taking care of her and trying to keep her hidden from the bad guy company, from even eviler Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
Bioengineering Steve Jobs.
Right.
And so they're trying to track her down after she gets kidnapped, and they're like taken to they're sent to Malta because that guy has a sale lined up in Malta on such and such date, and so they like go there. And that whole sequence was just like dumb and boring, and they could have written a way around it, and it would have made this movie a much more appetizing length.
Yeah, it definitely kind of cut the flow of things.
Because like everything from, despite some of the dumb stuff, at least the action was entertaining enough from when they got to the evil company at the end of the movie. When they got to the valley at the end of the movie,
yeah,
forward like through the end of the movie, that was fine. I mean, it was still dumb. There's still a lot of dumb stuff that happened, but like that part felt like a Jurassic movie, at least,
Right.
Stop having dinosaurs sneak up on people in these movies, please. It's so
why
stupid.
are they like they're super stealthy? The big ones are the stealthiest. That's the crazy part.
Yeah. Well, it's always like. It's like, it's one thing when the raptors are like sneaking around through the kitchens in the first one or something, and they're specifically like
hunting.
Yeah, hunting. But when someone like is just like, huh? And turns around and there's like a brachiosaur behind them, it's like, no, I refuse to believe that.
Yeah.
There's no way that from the air coming down into this like entryway area of this facility that you didn't see the thing.
Well, here's the dumb part about that too. Is she's like, I'm gonna go get us away out here. So she goes to the helipad and she gets the helicopter. Why didn't just everyone just
Go to
go
the
to the helipad?
Yeah, why did she?
And why did she have to go land it in this like? First of all, it wouldn't be like even if there were no dinosaurs. There's like all sorts of like topiary and sculptures and stuff in there to be in the way.
Yeah.
And it just was weird.
Yeah. Anyway, I do not recommend this movie. Top Gun's still in theater. Go see that a second time instead.
Yeah, that's a better movie.
I think I would have rather seen Top Gun a second time than see this once. So, well, our next movie is Lightyear, right?
Yes.
So that movie looks cool. Looks like a cool space opera sci-fi movie. We got that Elvis biopic, right?
Yeah.
In July, we got Thor: Love and Thunder, which looks cool. So here, Bullet Train, according to IMDb, is still showing a release date of the 29th. But we saw a trailer at the theater today that said August 8th.
I guess I would trust the trailer.
Well, here's the weird thing to me about the really weird thing to me about that is the 8th is a Monday. Was it the 8th? It said 8th, right?
I don't remember.
I think it said August 8th, which is a Monday, which doesn't make any sense. Movies do not release on Mondays. Never have, probably never will. So yeah, I don't know. We do intend to see that though. Hopefully it does come out like at the time advertised. Or the time we thought. Because I also don't know what delaying it a single week would do for you anyway. Right? It just doesn't make sense. Anyway, so but yeah, that's when movies just really start to dry up for the year after that, which is unfortunate. Yeah, man. Like there's a new Puss in Boots movie, Nolan.
Okay.
Sure you're real excited for that. There's Black Adam in October, which that trailer actually looks pretty cool. Actually looked way better than like the last several DC movies we've seen.
Yeah, it did.
Black Panther 2 is in November. There's some Disney movie called Strange World coming out in November as well. And then December is Avatar 2, in theory. And Shazam! Fury of the Gods, although we haven't seen even a teaser for that yet, so I don't know.
I don't know.
I like Zachary Levi, though, so...
I liked that first Shazam movie, actually.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I think it's interesting that Zachary Levi doesn't even have top billing on a Shazam movie, though.
Who's the top billing?
Rachel Ziegler.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't know. You got anything else to add to that?
Nah.
All right, cool. Go check out our other reviews. What was the last one we did, Nolan?
Top Gun Maverick?
Top Gun Maverick. That's right. I think if any of those upcoming reviews are of interest, hit the bell, I guess, is the most helpful thing these days.
Could be.
Subscriber count is not even really, doesn't even seem to matter. My news feed has almost nothing from channels I actually subscribe to, or my like recommended feed on YouTube. So, yeah, subscribe or don't. I don't really care. And come back and check out our upcoming reviews of the other stuff. Check out our older stuff as well. Yeah. Until next time. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Toodles.